What's good, everyone? What's good, everyone? So, yeah. Um, I don't even know what to talk about. I really don't, and I really don't even feel. I just want to make a video. Shout out to everybody out there who sent the donations and supports the channel. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck to talk about. There ain't really shit to say nowadays, to be honest. Everyone's full of shit. That's one thing I can say is that everyone's full of shit. And it's just crazy. To GTA 6 is, I can really give a fuck about GTA 6. When it comes out, I'll play it. Like, I'm not saying I don't want to play it or nothing. All right, it looks like it'll be cool, but I can give a fuck about GTA. Whenever it comes out, then it comes out, and I'll get it and I'll play it and I'll stream it. But I can really give a fuck about the game. They probably just delayed it because they already know a lot of these bots. A lot of people are going to be distracted by that shit, and they about to make a lot of money. That game's going to probably make billions of dollars. So, like, they're just trying to probably make it so there's no problems with it because a lot of people are going to be streaming and making money from it, and like, so they just want to make sure. So, but I can give a fuck about it. Whenever it comes out, though, it's gonna come out, and when it comes out, then I'll fuck with it. But that's really not even a priority for me. I feel people who are interested, not because this is no shade to Ralph Deeds. Like, shout out to Ralph, but I'm speaking in general. Like, people who are distracted by dumb shit like that, not just GTA 6, but just content and entertainment and just movies and all that. These are, if you look at most of these people, they're like people who have nothing going for them in life. They don't have no goal, no purpose, and like now I like because one thing a lot of you people that one thing a lot of people, they think they know something, but they really don't. Like, they'll say, we got to be more disciplined. We got to be more spiritual. We got to reach after our goals. We got to do this. We got to do that. But they don't really truly understand what the fuck they're talking about. They just think they do because it sounds good. And then they know that that's what they're supposed to be doing. But if they truly understood it, then they would have went through certain experiences that made them realize and truly understand it. And those experiences have to do with feeling um, discomfort, pain, overcoming things through trial and error, going through certain experiences that mold you to be somebody. When you go through those, then all the bullshit sheds. Like, people say, "Oh, I woke up from the ain't nobody ain't woke up from shit." Everyone's full of shit. Nobody's woken up because the only way to wake up is to get out your comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone watching YouTube videos from the comfort of your fucking couch, you're not woken up because you didn't leave your comfort zone. And a lot of people, they're like, they go to their little shitty job and think that, oh, I'm out my comfort zone because I got to go to a job I don't. No, bitch, you're not out your comfort zone. You're going there. If anything, that is a comfort zone, because if you don't take your ass to that job, you're gonna probably not even have nowhere to stay, and nobody wants to be homeless. You see what I'm saying? So you're in your comfort zone, idiot. When I talk about comfort zone, I'm talking about, can you work 5 days a week, and the 2 days you have off, go and work on something that's like, I'm talking about that, not like, oh, I gotta take a break, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, everyone's full of shit. Ain't nobody really. So that's why, this is why I'm like, there's nothing really to talk about nowadays. This shit is lame. Like, even me making this video right here, is like, I'm just making this video because I don't got shit to do right now. Usually I got a lot of shit I'm doing in my fucking life. Right now I don't got shit to do today. So I'm like, let me just make this fucking video. And it's like, and even then it's like 11:30 at night. So I'm like just chilling. But everyone's full of shit. That's something you guys gotta realize. And like when you really truly, because one thing I've noticed is that in order to really truly like, you guys got to understand this social media doom scrolling and all of this crap they got going on and what's going on in the media. Like, somebody told me that America was going in a war or something like that. Like, I didn't somebody told me yesterday, 2 days ago, like America was in a war. I didn't even know we were in a fucking war. Like, I heard somebody say something about a war, but I thought they were just joking, because I'm like, why the fuck does everyone, like last week I was like, why does everyone keep talking about America and war? And then my cousin told me that America was in a war, or China or India, like somebody's in a war. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? A war? I have to go on Google and I see a whole bunch of like Trump this and Iran bombing and America's gonna get bombed. I'm like, what the fuck? This was like a couple days ago. But like the last week, I keep hearing about war and I'm thinking it was like some TikTok trend. But then yesterday somebody told me America's in war, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, because I'm so like, I don't even be on this fucking shit no more. Not because I'm trying to like, because you'll see a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm going on a social media fast. I'm not watching social media. Like me, I never just do something without truly feeling like I want to do it. Like if I want to smoke, drink alcohol and take pills, I'm gonna drink alcohol and I'm gonna take fucking pills. I have to go through something in my life to make me not want to do that. If I'm gonna fast from social media, if I'm gonna fast from eating, I have to go through something in my life to make me truly not want to do that. I don't just do something because somebody on the internet said that that's what I should do. That's fucking retarded, because every time you do that, you never follow through with it. This is why a lot of people, they don't hold up to their New Year's resolution. This is why everybody's full of shit, because everyone says that I want to be successful. But the reason they want to be successful is because they want a Lamborghini, or they want money, or they want to feel good. It's never about something that's internal, that's deeper, that you can't really comprehend with it. It's never that type of feeling. So therefore they never become successful in life because they want to be successful so they can feel good, so they can be happy, so they can make money, which is fucking retarded. No, you're supposed to be wanting to be successful because something that you can't explain is driving you to that, not because of anything else. So this is why you see a lot of failures, because when they start doing something, it's all on the basis of something that doesn't make sense. So they'll say, oh, I'm gonna stop doing this, and then it's hard for them. Or like a drug addict, oh, I stopped doing drugs for 5 years and I relapsed. How the fuck did you relapse? That means you were a drug addict for 5 years. You just didn't do drugs, dumbass. Because when you relapse, or when you go back to doing something, that means you were never really out of it, because you just use a superficial, fake ideology to be like, I don't want to do that no more. You didn't really truly not want to do that. Like when I don't eat, when I fast from bullshit in life, not just with food or with everything, it's something in me that's like, that drives me to do it. And then that something in me, it replaces the urge to want to do those things. It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat because I want to be healthy, or I don't want to watch social media because it's bullshit. No, that's never gonna work. You have to have something that's within you that you can't explain, that's driving you, and then it's gonna that feeling and those thoughts are gonna by default make you not give a fuck about that dumb shit. And that's how you stay on the path. And everyone's different to reach that. So that's how you really cut bullshit out of your life. Because when you force yourself, then you're gonna always what they call relapse. which that's I fucking hate that word. You didn't relapse, bitch. You were just a drug addict who didn't do drugs. You don't see nobody. You don't see somebody who. There's people who've never done drugs before. They don't have an urge to do drugs. So there's people who've done drugs, they relapse. There's people who've done drugs and they never relapse. Those are the people, if you look at their life, they had something to replace the drug. They didn't just stop doing it. You don't just fast from food because you want to be healthier. You want to just go 30 days without eating. You have to have a reason that drives you, that's internal. That's with everything, fasting from anything, doing anything, wanting to quit drugs, wanting to quit negative habits. Otherwise, you're just going to keep doing the same dumb shit. And this is why I say everyone's full of shit. Everyone will just sit there and, even with the astrology, people want to use astrology and shit. Talking about how, oh, I'm going to wait till Mercury leaves retrograde for me to do this. Or Aries season starting. Aries season is when I'm going to start. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm not saying that Aries season isn't a time to start or Mercury retrograde, things don't happen. But what I am saying is a lot of you niggas, like 99% of you niggas, are so far behind. You need to start right now. You don't need to wait for shit. Because you waiting and like a lot of people are behind. I'm not going to sit there and speak for everyone because I don't know everyone, nor do I care. But I'm just, if the shoe fits, wear it. And based upon my observation and what I see on a daily basis, most people are full of shit and they're not really where they want to be. And it's like, and I'm not saying you have to be anywhere because you don't got to be it's not about going somewhere, being somewhere, because there's really no destination. All the things you guys think that you need to get to, that once you get there, you'll realize there's more. And it's always going to be more. So it's about being content in the now and being satisfied with right now. And that's really what it is. So shout out to everyone who say, was good, welcome back. Most relapse happen when you're not letting go of your inner innate desires. It's not, but yet again, you said when you're not letting go of your innate desires. But when you let go, you have to replace it with something. Like, you don't just say, oh, I'm gonna just let go of something. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't, but then that's how you relapse. Because you don't have nothing to replace it with. Like, what are you doing in your life that's like a purpose or a goal that is gonna drive you, so you're not even gonna have time to do the bullshit. If you have time to do bullshit, then that's where you're gonna start doing bullshit. It's like the last couple of months, I just been like so busy getting a lot of shit in my life, like situated. Like the last couple of months, I done a lot of shit compared to the last like 2 years combined. So like, and it kind of made me get I'm kind of angry with myself, because if I would have kept up this routine for the last like year, let alone 4 or 5 years, which is what I should have done, I would have been in a whole different position. But I'm not upset and I'm not angry, because like I'm real, like I'm right now, I'm very slowed down right now. I'm slowed down. So I'm not in a rush right now. I'm not in a rush. I've slowed down because I've actually realized, and I've had certain realizations. I'm not going to get into the dreams and spiritual messages, because that's really not just as none of nobody's business. Is There's no point in even speaking that, because all of that shit is for me to realize, so I can use my mind and my body to be in the space and thought that I need to be in. That's why I have these epiphanies, these realizations, not for me to come on YouTube and tell you guys the spiritual experience. That doesn't mean shit, really. I don't need to tell you about how I was in some type of astral realm and I had this experience to make me realize certain things that that's for me to realize for myself so I can put myself in a space and a mindset that I need to be in to do what I got to do to live the life that I want to live. That's what that's for, not for me to come on here and speak that. And if I was going to come on here and speak that, it'll be some type of course or some type of thing I'm selling or I'm getting that's trying to help or do it. If I was even going to do that shit. Not saying that's what you have to do or I want to do that or I can give a fuck about that, but like it'll be for a reason if I'm going to say it. But like a lot of people on here, they be just talking and it just be they're just full of shit. And it's like I'm seeing it, I'm realizing it a lot more. So like the whole war shit. I didn't even know America was in war. Then like a couple of days ago when my cousin mentioned it, and the last week and a half, I was like, why does everyone keep talking about a war? And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I just put it past my mind because I'm doing my own shit in my life. I don't be watching this shit. Like if I'm on YouTube, I watch shit that's like on my subscription, and none of that shit is political or nothing. So when he told me we're in a war a couple of days ago, I was like, I just realized like, okay, this is why everyone keeps talking about a war. I thought people were just trolling or just talking shit, but I'm like, why does everyone keep talking about war? But I just realized, okay, we're in a war, which is crazy. I didn't even know that shit, and I was like, it's funny because I told you niggas last year like about Saturn and Aries. This wasn't last year. This was fucking like November or October of last year. It was one of my live streams last year. I told you niggas like don't listen to anything in the news because every time there's an astrological transit, the government's going to do something. And I said, when Saturn gets into Aries around the beginning, around March, February, the government is going to do something. I told you guys that, but nobody fucking listens. Everyone, it goes by, well, I'm not saying nobody, but it goes by a lot of people's head. I told you niggas the government was going to do something in around March and February because it's a huge transit specifically with Aries, and Aries is Mars, and Mars is violent in war, and it's like very brute. And I said they're going to do something. I didn't know what it was, but I said they're going to do something. So don't get distracted. And I mentioned it. And I just realized a couple of days ago that I guess the US is in the war, but I'm not even into that political shit at all. I don't even be on, they banned my Facebook because I used to be on Facebook trolling and shit. And they banned it, and then I will make a new one, and then they'll ban it the next day because I guess they updated the AI system so they can know if they already banned you. So I just gave up making Facebook, which I'm so glad that they banned my shit because I haven't been on Facebook in months, and I don't even have an urge to want to make another one and go on that shit. And I don't even go on Instagram because I hate fucking apps where it's a lot of pictures and videos. I hate that shit. Like Facebook was cool. Instagram is too many pictures. I don't go on TikTok at all. I don't go on that. I hate it when I go on an app and it's pictures and videos, and I hate that shit. Like YouTube is the only app I really fuck with. Instagram, TikTok, I don't fuck with. Facebook, I fuck with because they had posts and you didn't have to watch the reels. But then I stopped doing it because they kept banning me, and I was like, fuck it. I just stopped. So I don't even go on Facebook. Instagram, too many pictures. TikTok is too many videos. It's like I don't fucking go on it. YouTube's the only thing I go on. So I'd be on YouTube, and then I eliminated a lot of subscriptions that I had because I don't know what it was, but last couple of months I just had to eliminate a lot of shit. I just didn't have an urge to watch like a lot of the shit I used to watch. I just could not watch anymore. It just wasn't entertaining. So I had to unsubscribe from a lot of channels because I'm starting to see the true vibe of what people really are. And it's like before I would tell you guys, oh, I'm seeing the true vibe, but that was like a lot of it was my ego and a lot of anger, and I was looking at it from that lens. But now I'm truly seeing it for what it is without the emotion, the ego. And I'm seeing a lot of people are hurt, they're damaged, and they're just speaking based upon their feelings. They'll talk about how this has happened, the government this, and Gen Z this and this, and these are just hurt people. These people are damaged, they're hurt. Like I'm not even going to talk down upon these people because anybody who has to make a video talking about what the government is doing Um, now, and I'm not saying you should like. It's good to inform people, but like if you're like a Gen Z and you're talking about what the government's doing, you're an idiot because you don't know what the fuck the government's doing. You're not in any Freemasonic group. You don't know any of these niggas personally. You're just speaking based upon your emotion. Talk about Epstein, this Epstein. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't know shit about Epstein, and other than what they told you Epstein was doing. You stupid motherfucker. You're just an idiot who just regurgitating what they want you to talk about. And since nobody is paying attention to the government and to the system like they once were, and like they want you to, now they have to release stuff like Epstein and Diddy files, and uh, they have to talk about all of this stuff that used to be conspiracy and trying to make conspiracy somehow the mainstream because they're losing attention. So they're like a baby that's kicking and screaming. They need your attention. So now they have to talk about what was once conspiracy 10 years ago and try to sell it to you like it's real. And it's like, it's not, I don't even care if it's real or fake. I don't give a fuck about it. It could be real. Like it could be governments eating children. I literally don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's not that I don't care about the kids. It's not even that. It's boring to me. It's not entertaining. I don't care. I'm not gonna go and watch fucking um I'm not gonna go and watch fucking Camp Lazlo on Cartoon Network because that shit's fucking boring. I'm not gonna go and fucking play a game that I don't like because I'm not entertained by it. So why are you telling me this stuff about Epstein, about Diddy? Like, it doesn't entertain. It doesn't phase me or entertain me. Not that they're trying to create a conspiracy to make people distracted. That shit don't entertain me because when your mind gets on a certain frequency, that shit doesn't even, you don't give a fuck about that no more. But a lot of people, they're forced to give a fuck about it because they're not on that frequency. A lot of people are bored, they're miserable, so they need some type of stimulation. Oh, this rich person's going broke. Oh my goodness, this makes me feel good because I'm broke and I don't have money and they're going broke. So now it's something for me to think about when I'm miserable and I just got home from my shitty job. That fucking Tiger Woods is gonna go broke because he got sued and the Masons are taking his money. He's like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. You got to be a miserable, sad person. So when I see a lot of these people that talk about this shit, it just makes me realize how miserable and like bored people are because they haven't really been through any like realizations through experience. Because you have to go through experience, you have to go through certain discomfort, you have to go through certain sacrifice, you have to go through certain things. And when you go through these things and you overcome them, it gives you such a feeling of tranquility, realization, peace, and a certain like frequency. And then by you going through those, you by default will understand, and you can see other things. You can see most people are running away from things that they shouldn't be, and then they'll still try to talk like that they experience these things. But only somebody who truly experienced these things, you'll know, you'll be able to see it through them and know who's not really, who's full of shit. So it's like, it's crazy. I'm gonna read some of these comments. I agree, YouTube is getting lame. Even most tarot most spiritual channels. I'm not, yeah, I don't even, I suggest anyone don't watch any tarot readers. Now, I'm not saying tarot, this has nothing to do with tarot. I'm not saying tarot is not a tool, is a tool that's not, that you can't use. Or no, you can, tarot is a powerful tool if used correctly. I'm not saying that's wrong. This has nothing to do with tarot, but you got to understand, like, um I will say literally 99% of people, probably 100%, but let's just say 99% of people that are into tarot heavily have some type of mental illness, trauma, and or damaged mentality that they are using tarot to cover up with. So this is why I highly suggest, if you're in real life, don't deal with spiritual people Don't deal with anybody that's a tarot reader, especially if it's a female. Don't deal with these people. Like anyone that proclaims spiritual, psychic tarot reader in real life, do not deal with these people. The only exception is if you're dealing with them based upon reality and you are getting stuff done with this person in reality, and they mention, oh, by the way, I'm into this tarot, and the tarot and the spiritual is secondary. And then I will say that's an exception. But if the first impression of this person is, I'm a tarot reader, I'm spiritual, I'm against the government, not to say the government's good, fuck the government, but if you have to tell me you're against the government, most likely you have a mental illness, and every mental illness you have, you're going to blame on the government. And then the problem with that is it's going to leak into my life. So now your mental illness that the government created, you're going to start exacerbating that mental illness onto me. And then I'm going to go upside your fucking head and have to probably face some type of charge. And then now I'm the problem and I'm part of the government. So I just put it all in, I nip it all in one bunch. If you talk about the government too much in a negative way, if you're into spirituality, tarot in my real life, I really can't even deal with you. And I look at you as you have some type of trauma or mental illness, because why aren't you focusing your life? Why aren't you focusing on what's important in your fucking life instead of something that's not important? Because at the end of the day, it's not in fucking important. Like, it's not even about anything deep. It's not important. And if it is, what the fuck has it gotten you? Because it is important. We need to know. People need to wake the fuck up. Ain't nobody woke the fuck up. Who woke the fuck up? And even if you are waking up, you're waking up so you can get your life better. You ain't waking up for anybody else. I can give a fuck if this person's awoke or not. If I'm waking up, it's so I can better my life and the people that I care about in my life. That's it. I'm not waking up for somebody on YouTube that I don't even fucking know. So for me to say we need to wake the people up, that's some bullshit. That's some Agent Matrix shit. That's stupid. So I say anybody who's into anything that's conspiracy, spiritual, tarot, that's proclaiming it and into it, I don't even deal with them, except if it's an exception, like we're in reality doing real shit and getting shit done. And then by default, you mention it. And when you do mention it, it's to add on to what we're doing. So let's just say you're trying to get a situation started in reality that's physical and tangible. And you may use your tarot, your astrology, or your hatred for the government, and it's helping you. Like, okay, I don't like the government, how they're charging people for groceries. So let me try to develop my energy so I can live off what they will call prana, chi, do extended fasting to learn how to train the body. Let me try to grow my own food. Let me try to do something so I can combat the government on them trying to control my life through the food shipping industry and grocery stores and all that. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's how your anger should be transmuted, to figure out a solution for the things of why you hate the government. Like, I hate the government because of money. Okay, let me go and create a situation where money's not an issue to me. I can create a product and a resource where it brings me money, so money isn't an issue. You see how you're transmuting it? That's how you're supposed to do it. Everything else is just shut the fuck up. I don't care. And when I fast, I feel that's how sensitive my stomach is with certain foods. A lot of them, that's another thing. The stomach, the gut. A lot of you guys need to do a parasite cleanse. Where's my shit at? Get you guys some of this right here. Where is it at? Fuck. Hold on, give me a minute. Get you guys some of this right here. It's a parasite cleanse. Cleans your gut. Shit cleans your fucking gut out. You guys, a lot of you guys, the reason like you guys are fucked up mentally because you have a lot of bacteria. You have a lot of parasites in your gut, and that affects your brain. And that's the reason why a lot of you guys are fucked up You need to get you some of this. It's organic black walnut and wormwood. This is going to clean the bacteria, kill that shit out your guts. If you don't cleanse, eventually the bacteria is going to grow bigger and it's going to start creating symptoms. This is how a lot of people get sick and die, is through the gut and bacteria that's overgrowing. But the bacteria, it plays out as you have cravings for certain foods, sweets. You start having depression, anxiety, foggy minded, even things you don't think that's related to your gut. It has a fact. And this is what I've been doing for the past 6 days. Wait, actually, about to go on 5 days. I've been doing this. So get you guys some of this. This is the good one. Don't get the cheap shit. They got the cheap shit. Get the organic shit. It's $21.99 for this bottle. And you take it I take it 3 times a day. And it's going to cleanse your gut from all the bacteria. Because when you eat a lot of parasites, and it really cleanses it. And this is something you guys should get and look into. I was gonna say say certain foods. A lot of the reason your stomach is so sensitive is because you're eating a lot of bullshit. You have a lot of that bacteria in you. Because the more you have of that shit in you, the more sensitive food can get. So you need to kill that shit off. That's exactly how I felt about the time change. I had no idea. What do you mean by time change? You speaking about like the time accelerating? Yeah, I feel, man. I just really recently deleted all my social media. This shit is overstimulating us too. Yeah, that's a good start. But like, it's more than just deleting just social media. Like I said, you want to replace it. Like you deleted it, that's good. But even before you delete your social media, the way I would put it is, I'm not saying don't delete your social media. That's good, you did that, and keep doing that. But the way I would do it is, I would change something in my life. So when I do that thing, I'm so enamored and I'm so into doing that thing that by default, I don't even get on social media. That's the way to do it. You want to replace social media with something in your life you can do. And when you're doing that, you're so focused and enamored by that thing. By the time you know it, a week, 2 weeks gone by, you haven't been on social media because you're so busy. And then it'd be a 2 months, 3 months. It's like, I haven't even been. That's how you do it. If you just say, I'm going to just stop doing social media, I'm going to just stop doing that, that's good, but you're going to relapsing, or you're going to be bored and want to go on. And then you're going to feel like, what's the point of this? What's the point of life? You're going to be like one of these dumbass Gen Z, what's the point of life? And it's like, there is a point of life. It's just, to that particular person, there's no point. So if you say there's no point in life and you're depressed, that's you. You're speaking from your perspective. Don't project out to everyone else. In your reality, in your thought, in your world, there is no point in life. So you're all right. But you can't say that to everyone, because we got people out here who create fucking, who do plenty of great fucking things. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they accomplish shit on a daily basis. So for you to say there's no point in life, but yet you see people accomplishing things, even things that you want to do, obviously that defeats the purpose of you said there's no point in life. No, for you, there's no point in life. And that's because you choose to be in that mindset. So like, keep that shit to yourself. But that is good that you deleted all the apps, but replace it with something. Don't just delete the apps. You got to focus and do something. I don't know you, so you have to figure out what's good for you. I don't know who you are, what you do. You got to know what's good for you. It's like, yeah, it's crazy, man. And like, this whole, everything is an illusion online. Like, people think like all this success, like you're gonna be successful off. I remember that there was a time like 3 4 years ago, like around 2021, after the pandemic, or everyone thought they were gonna be a millionaire from cryptocurrency. Everyone thought you were gonna be a millionaire from fucking being a content creator. Now it's like we're like fight because me, I don't just talk all this shit just for the hell of it. Like it's been 4 years, and me, I'm in my mid 30s, so I've seen trends come and go. And I remember there was a time on YouTube where everyone was supposed to be, or your content, your YouTube channel was your is gonna be your new ticket to success, and this is your brand. Everyone used to call their YouTube channel their brand, and I'm not saying it isn't, because if you have a brand and you're on YouTube, that's your brand. Like I can go to a fucking mom and pop shop, that's their brand. People have mom and pop shops since the 70s, 60s. That's their brand. So brands always been existing. But when people started saying social media is your brand, it's like that don't make no fucking sense. If you just on social media, that ain't your brand. If I was a personal trainer and I had a training gym and I advertise and marketed my training gym on YouTube, you can call that my brand. But if you just show your fucking ugly ass mug on fucking YouTube and talk, that's not a brand. You're just open up a YouTube subscription channel network and filled out the form and made a channel and created one and started talking. That's what that is. That's not a brand. So I don't know what the fuck people keep talking about. Oh, this is your brand. YouTube's your brand. And you notice nobody talks like that no more. Ain't nobody making no money on YouTube like that no more. All the people you think are making money, they're all puppets and they're all agents. Ain't nobody making no money on this shit. This shit is dead. It's always been, I don't want to say it's always been dead. Well, on certain levels, it's always been dead. But on certain levels, it just became dead, like as of the last few years. But YouTube is like, it's a dying platform. I don't want to say it's a dying platform, because you got to understand, like, the main reason part of the reason YouTube is even successful the way it is because there's a lot of miserable people. A big part of the reason social media is popular is because most people are miserable. Because if there was less miserable people, social media wouldn't be as popular as it is. So this is what they're not telling you. They're telling you everybody's on social media. Social media is the best place, but they're telling you, like, most people on social media are doom scrolling. Most people on social media are trying to distract themselves from being miserable. Because if you look at the average person, most people aren't living the life they want to live. So they need a distraction. So that's a major part why social media is even successful, is because there's a lot of miserable people. Because if you look at a lot of content, like people, like you'll have somebody who has a YouTube channel, and let's just say they talk about doomerism, about how society sucks. They will literally be like, nobody's watching my channel. My channel's not in the algorithm. They're shadow banning me. And I'm like, dude, anybody who even wants to watch your videos has to be depressed. So you want people to be depressed so they can watch you? Like, some of these people, they're not even being shadow banned. It's just, motherfucker, you talk about depressed shit. And a lot of people probably started watching you, then they stopped watching you because you talk about the same fucking thing. So how are they just shadow banning you? Some people do get shadow banned, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people, a lot of people, they want people, like you'll see channels say, oh, they're trying to block the information. But the information you talk about, you have to be depressed to be even interested and subscribe to you. So if you're a person who talks about doomerism, only depressed, miserable people will subscribe to you. And if nobody's watching your channel, you say they're shadow banning you. But that should be a good thing no one's watching your channel, because that means nobody is watching that depressing shit. But then you got it all twisted backwards, like, oh, they're trying to block the message. No, bitch, you're a depressed, miserable person. And maybe back a few years ago, everyone was watching your shit. Now people are getting tired because you're saying the same fucking shit. And plus, we going into a bunch of different energies where all those people who were comfortable trauma bonding, watching your depressing shit, the universe is putting situations in their life to not make it feel so comfortable to do that. So they're forced to get off their ass to go make something of themselves. whether they see it like that or not. Maybe that's what's happening. But you can't really tell no one this. Everyone has to like see it for themselves. It's like misery loves company. And don't dare try to be successful or become somebody great while trauma bonding with a lot of these people, because it's just going to create a situation where they're gonna look at you as an agent. They're gonna look at you as like, oh, he's an agent. He's you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, he switched up, or he changed, or he did this, or he's just about. Because I've seen it before. I remember I was in a homeless shelter once, right? This was like years ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I was in a homeless shelter, and it's funny because there was this guy in the homeless shelter, and he was about to get I think he was about to get a social security check. And when you sign up for social security, they give you, when you first get it, you get back pay. So all the months they didn't give you social security, you get that up. So he was supposed to get like 13 grand. And he was talking to people we were in line to go to get lunch at the shelter. And he was telling one of his friends he knew. And this dude knew him. He was friends with this nigga, because like I knew, because I was there for a while, and I knew who talked to who, and they were cool. And he's like, "Oh, I'm about to get 13,000, and when I get this money, I'm out of this shelter. I'm getting the fuck up out of here." And you could tell the friend was like, "Shut the fuck up." And then the guy's like, "Oh, why are you mad at me? I thought we were cool, man." But the guy didn't know, like, dude, if you're getting all that money, why are you be telling all these homeless people that are gonna be stuck here for whoever knows how long? Like, you're stupid for saying that. And like somebody can even probably rob him or something. But like the guy was all getting all mad, but then I thought they were supposed to be cool. And it just showed you like you can, when you're like in it, when you get good things, like you can tell the guy, he wasn't bragging, and he wasn't like showing off. He was just talking because he was happy, but you can kind of tell he was stupid, because like when good things happen to you, you don't be telling people shit. Like there's even certain things that happen to me in my life, nothing to do with finance or money, because I don't look at that as success. But I'm kind of scared to talk about it, because I don't want to fuck up the energy and like make it not come into fruition, because certain things that are happening to me. So certain things I won't even say on here, at least right now, until I'm fully embodied in that energy. Well, I know I'm locked into that shit where I know it's no going back. Then I will speak about it. But as of right now, there's certain things I don't even want to talk about that I experienced last month, that I'm gonna probably speak about it a little later. But like that's one thing you don't want to do, because when you do that, people won't, they look at that as like you're disrespecting them, because a lot of people, they don't want to do what's necessary to be in a better position. And they will compare themselves, well, this person, he's just getting this money and he didn't do shit. Well, that's none of your business. Who gives a fuck him. Do what you got to do, and you'll get things that is way better than just some money. Who knows, he could blow that money and waste it, or that shit could be his downfall. And even if it isn't, let's just say he gets the money, who gives a fuck? Like, do you. And once you do you, none of that shit even matters to you. You have shit that's you'll be in a way better position. That's what you got to understand. It's funny. It was hella funny when I seen that situation happen though. He's all like in the line. We're like literally in the shelter line, about to get lunch, eating that nasty ass slop. I don't even know how to fuck get 13,000 in back pay, and they're about to pay my social security, and I'm about to get the fuck up out of this shelter. And he wasn't saying it like arrogantly, like he was trying to shit on people. He was just saying it like in a way where he just happy and he's about to get out of here and shit. And then I was like, nigga, you better be quiet, because somebody can just rob his ass. Because like the way that the city that I was in, it's like a ghetto city. There's a lot of shit. People will like follow you and like plot on you. Like, so he was kind of stupid saying that. Like I don't know why he would say that. He was kind of like, he had to be kind of like slow. And this nigga was like in his 50s. Like he was like a 50-year-old kind of stupid person. Like you can kind of tell. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, how the fuck did this nigga even make it? Like he looked like he could be somebody's dad. and he's sitting here like talking like a kid. So I think he has some type of mental disability, but he easily could have got set up and robbed easily. And then the way how he was in the situation, if you knew how to do it, you could have, like, that's what I'm saying. He was kind of stupid doing that, but shit was funny. It made me just realize how like full of shit people are, and because his buddy was like fuck you and was talking hella shit, and he literally didn't even know why. Like that's how dumb he was. He's like, dude, I thought we were cool, and then he's like, we are cool, man. I'm just playing with you, but you can tell he wasn't playing with him. And I'm like, damn, he better watch out. The dude doesn't like try to rob him or something, or like try to like get at him, or who knows. But that shit was funny. He's like, especially tarot readers, they project a lot of shit. Yeah, they do. That's why I don't read tarot. I don't watch tarot videos at all. Like, first of all, I look at it kind of disrespectful. Like, first of all, how the fuck can you tell me about my life? Like, you can't tell me shit about my life, bitch. Like, you know all of this tarot, you know all of this shit, but yet you don't know how to take care of your fucking kids. You don't know how to fucking fix your situation and your trauma surrounding men. Like, why is it every tarot reader that's a female has trouble with men? Like, they got, like, you can tell, like, this bitch talking about, like, there's one bitch, she did tarot. This was like years ago. I don't think she did tarot, but she was a spiritual female. And I could tell she hated men, because every time somebody would talk about men, she'd be like, the masculine energy is the reason why this happened. The reason it's the feminine energy and this, and then she'll try to act like she's not a man hater, be like, we need masculine and feminine, but then she'll say some shit that you can tell. And then one day she slipped up and she said something like her ex-husband beat her and broke her ribs, and I'm like, okay, now that's where it's coming from, because you got your ass beat by. And I'm not saying this is a good, or I'm glad this happened, because that's fucked up, but there's trauma there, is what I'm trying to get you to understand, surrounding men, because she got her ass beat and her ribs broken because she said that. And then I can tell, before she said that, I can tell she hate men, because every time when she would talk, it will be about the feminine energy. But then when somebody will say something, like, she'll try to cover it up, like, oh, it's not just about feminine, it's about masculine and feminine. But then she'll shit on masculine, or when there'll be a man in the chat, she'll kind of like do certain things. Like, you can kind of tell she had like a hate. It's like those MGTOW who don't like women. It was like that, but with the female. So this is before she slipped up. She said about her getting her ribs broken and beaten to a pulp by like one of her fucking exes or some shit. I'm like, okay, that's what it is. She has trauma surrounding men. And then that's when you really look deep at a lot of these tarot readers, because you got to understand, anybody that is so invested heavily into spirituality and tarot, to the point where everything's about chakra, energy, frequency, tarot, or I can read the energy. Like, you got to understand, like, that's somebody who's been through a lot of trauma surrounding different scenarios and situations. And like, remember they tell you, when you're scared, go to church. It's like, when you're scared, grab a tarot deck. It's kind of like that saying, like, when you're scared, if you're scared, go to church. Like, a lot of these bitches, they've been through a lot of trauma. And it's not just females, it's men too who are into spirituality. It's just people in general that are into spirituality. And a lot of these things, they've been through a lot of shit. And and don't get me wrong, there's people who aren't into spirituality, who've been through a lot of shit. But when anybody who's been through a lot of trauma, they're usually finding something to cope. Some people do drugs, some people, they try to be into tarot. It just depends on the personality. So when you see a lot of these females that, especially female, they're into tarot so much, I would not deal with them, because these are people, if you look deep in their life, everything's a projection. This is why when you go into these tarot card sites, or these channels, they will talk about, it's always something negative. They're like, this man is trying to, oh, no, I remember there's this one girl, right? She was like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but any man that comes into your life and doesn't want to take you seriously, but wants to rush into sexual situations seriously, that's somebody you need to look out for. I don't, anytime they say, I don't know who needs to hear this, and they say something negative, that's something that they went through and that they're projecting from their own space. So they're trying to make it look like I'm just trying to help you. So anybody who needs to hear this, and then they'll say something, that's something that they're going through. So because when you're pulling tarot, you're pulling tarot talking about something. You're not just talking about anything random. Why are you pulling tarot talking about relationship? The reason you're pulling tarot talking about relationship is because you're going through some type of relationship. You want to be in a relationship. Something having to do with you're traumatized from a relationship. So now you have to use tarot to talk about relationships to a bunch of bitches who have problems with the relationship. The bitches who are watching the tarot channel, they know they have problems. This is why they're watching the channel about relationships. The female who's the tarot reader, she's projecting and trying to act like she doesn't have any issues, or not even trying to act. She's just trying to like be in the space of like a crutch, like, oh, I'm using this to help me with my problems, but I'm going to try to fulfill other people's problems and try to act like I'm going to help them. But in reality, they're all going through a problem. And that problem is they're traumatized from relationships. That is why they're talking about relationships with tarot. Why else would you be talking about? Why don't you talk about something good? When you have the tarot deck, they have the sun card, they have the fucking chariot, they have all of these fucking decks, these cards that promote positivity. Why are you talking about loss and the devil and death and transformation? Like, bitch, how many times are you gonna transform some negative shit? Like, aren't you ever gonna get out of it and reach something positive? So this is how you can tell it's all projection. That's why I don't really even deal with any bitch that's spiritual. Any bitch talking about spirituality, I don't even deal with them. Like, at this point in the game, any female that's talking too much and giving too much of her opinion about anything, that's a red flag. A regular female shouldn't be giving too much opinion about nothing, really. They should be trying to support what you're doing. And I'm not saying let you walk over them and tell them what to do and whatever. It should be like they want to do what you're doing. You don't have to force anything. It's not about forcing and abuse and, oh, you got to do this. Or it's the way I do it is like, we're going to do what I'm doing and you're going to support what I'm doing, or I'm out and I'm leaving and that's it. We can just I'm leaving. I'm not going to force anybody to do anything. And it's not even about force. It's you want a female to want to do something that you're doing and support. And because when they support you and that's what you're doing, and you flourish, then they're gonna get to be treated as the way they want to be treated. So it's gotta work out in their favor. There's no abuse. There's no nothing negative about that. What I'm saying, I'm not saying, oh, you gotta do what. That's not what it is. Any female that's giving her opinion too much, that's a red flag right there. Like, why are you giving your opinion too much about shit? First of all, you ain't about to do shit. It's not like you about to really do shit. Most females just talk all this shit for no fucking reason. So it's like, what are you doing? A lot of the reasons females give their opinion too much is, like I said, it has to do with trauma. It has nothing to do with them trying to get, because like, you guys got to understand, there's certain, okay, you're a dude or a masculine man, or even a gay man. Like, anytime you're in a man body, there's going to be things men do, even if it's a gay man. There's going to be things a gay man does that's men do that women would never do, because they're in the man body and they still have a man brain. So when you do that, that's part of your biology. So there's certain things females aren't supposed to do and that are supposed to do if they're in a female. And if they don't do that, that's because there's a lot of the chemicals in the food, the programming, social media, all of that fucks with that whole perception. This is why you see a lot of like fucked up mentalities when it comes to men and female because of all of these things. But by default, there's always going to be things men do and women do, whether it be a dyke woman, a feminine woman, a gay man, or they're going to, even if it's a man that says, oh, I'm trans, he's always going to do certain shit. It always makes me laugh. You'll see these trans men talk about, oh, I'm a female, I'm not no man. But when they fight a man, they're not afraid. They use their man strength to protect themselves. So if you're a man and you say you're a female, if a man comes and tries to whoop your ass, you can't fight. You got to be weak. You can't use your masculine strength because the masculine strength is men. Women can't. A woman, when a woman's getting her ass beat, she can't push a man off and try to fight him like a man. She has to use. She's feminine, so she's weaker. So if you're a trans man and you want to be a woman, you can't use your masculine strength when a man starts whooping on your ass. See, even a trans man, even a man that wants to be a female, that's a trans. He wants to be a man because when you slap him in the face, he's gonna fight you like a man and start using his strength. He ain't gonna be like, "Oh, I'm a female, so I don't have strength." He's not gonna do that. So it's tell you that all that trans shit is bullshit. A man will always do certain things a man does, whether they say they trans or not, because that's the biology. So when a female starts giving her opinion and starts talking too much, that's a learned behavior because real true femininity doesn't do that. I'm not saying they don't have no power, but their power is differently. It's more in terms of something that's different than just giving their opinion. So they're trying to do what a man's supposed to do to exert certain power instead of doing what a female's supposed to do to exert certain power. So it's got switched up. So any female that's giving too much opinion, reading too much tarot, all that, that's a red flag. That's trauma right there. That's a bitch that needs healing. That's where they're always talking about healing and all that problems and shit. Like the reason I talk about healing and all this is because that's the shit I've been going through my fucking life. It's not like I'm some perfect person and I haven't had issues. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be talking about healing and trauma and all that. Obviously, I've had certain shit. This is why I fucking speak about it. What the fuck? So any bitch talking about tarot and reading and all this, bitch, you going through that. We're not gonna sit here and bullshit and lie. If you're talking about healing all the time, you need some type of healing or you've experienced healing because at some point you weren't healed and you've healed, but you're not gonna tell me you're some perfect being and you ain't been through anything problems, but yeah, you talking about healing and spirituality and shit. The fuck? Just like a nigga talking about money and finances. That's a nigga who probably grew up broke without no money. That's why it's on their mind. Because that's what's the fuck. It's not like they've always been rich. A motherfucker always been rich. They're gonna be talking about money in a different perspective. If anything, probably won't even be speaking about it like that. Hold on, let me read some more of these comments. Tarot should be used for confirmation, not peer. Exactly. You should to be honest, you really don't even need any of that stuff if you're really truly in alignment. But like I said, I'm not gonna say it's not a tool that can't be used. It is a tool that you can be used, but like I said, motherfuckers use that in a way that's not how it's meant to be. He's like, niggas too deep in their crown chakra. Yeah, for real. They too deep in their retard chakra too. Like, there's different types of chakras. Like, for real. Like, motherfuckers is just retarded in general. Yeah, shout out to Mysterio. Yeah, what's good, Mysterio? Just chilling. Yeah, I can't be on this fucking platform that much no more. That's why I don't be on this bitch because it's fucking lame. I'm getting a lot of shit done in my life, trying to do a lot of stuff. Cause I'm realizing like my life is I overcomplicated my life so much. Like the reason all the problems in my life, I came to the conclusion that all the problems in my life was because I was doing and consuming too much stuff. I was trying to do too much. I was trying to consume too much. I was trying to do too much. Once I stopped doing and consuming, then my mind got into it gets into a certain space, and then that's where everything happens. Like I don't like, and I'm not speaking like this for everyone because I don't know everyone, but like my situation is like I kept doing it. I made my life harder than it had to be. I kept trying to do too much because it was always weird because every time I would do certain things, like because I always look at my life like, they're saying it's too good to be true. Like there'd be certain things happening to me, and I'd be looking at it and I'd be thinking that it's a good thing, but then I come to find out like it really wasn't a good thing. It's like somebody who gets high off drugs. Oh, I feel good, but then it's hurting their health. Not to say about drugs for my case, but there'll be things in my life where it looked good, but I realized it really wasn't. And that's the reason why it was so easy for me to do these things. And I'll be thinking, oh, I got one up, or I got this, or I'm able to do this. And these people can't do, but it's like I wasn't even supposed to be doing that. So it's like I kind of had a realization like I'm doing too much. I don't need to do this shit. So when I just let go and stop doing certain shit, then I started being in a certain mind. Then once you be in a certain mind, and you get that, I'm not saying I'm there, but because it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, and it's not something that just, it's not a straight path. Healing and bettering yourself, whatever you want to call it, is not a straight path. There's ups and downs. So, and that's another thing they don't want to take, a lot of people don't talk about. When you start getting on this path, let's just say what do they call it? They say, what do they say? Lock in. I think that's what they think. When you so-called lock in for like 2 years straight, is not an upward thing. Healing is not an upward thing. Getting rid of trauma is not an upward. It's up, down, up, down. And then it'll level out, and then it'll go. And then once you get up there, you'll go down. But when you go down, you've already built enough armor and shield mentally and spiritually. So when you go down, it doesn't feel like when you were down here and you went down because you built up. So, but it's always an up and down when it comes to healing and evolving. And that's what they don't tell you. But a lot of people don't know that because they don't so-called lock in for more than like 2 months. They probably just do it for 2 months and they quit. But once you stay for like a year, you realize it's up and down, and then it goes and it's different. And then those are tests. Say, are you really built for this, or you just do it because if you think it's going to be straight, then when it goes down you give up. It's like the Bitcoin market. Everybody's selling a Bitcoin. Oh, it crashed, but let's just say it goes up to 300,000 in 4 years from now. Everyone, if I would have put $10,000 in Bitcoin in 2026, I would have had 100,000. No, you wouldn't, because when you put 10,000 in 2026, you would have sold it when it dropped to 60,000 because you got scared. You're not going to ride it out. But let's just say Bitcoin goes up to 3. I don't know. Whatever they want to do with Bitcoin, they can do. I don't know what the fuck they got to do with Bitcoin. It's their money. So I don't know. Whatever they want. But let's just say it goes back up to 300,000. All those people that say, oh, I shouldn't have sold it. If I would have put 10,000 in it, I would have had that. No, you wouldn't, because you would have sold it because you would have got scared. Because right now it was at 100,000 and it dropped to 60. Now everybody's they're selling it, and you see what I'm saying? But there's some people who are going to keep it still, and then let's just say it goes up to 400,000 by 2030. They made a bag. But all those people who sold it, they didn't want to wait it out because they got the drop. Like, you really stupid. You're dumb if you think you're going to make $1 million. They're going to make Bitcoin go to, let's just say they do make it go to $1 million. Why would they just make it go to $1 million just like this? They're going to make it go up, down, so they can trick all the people out. Oh, I'm scared. I'm just gonna sell it because it's not gonna go to $1 million. It's not gonna go there. But I don't know. I'm not saying it's gotta go to $1 million, and I'm not telling you to invest in it. But I'm just telling you, like, using it as an example of like the healing, how it goes up and down. It's not a straight path. So you need to be prepared for that when things go down, because those are gonna be tests to let you know there's no like destination really. There's no destination, because when you get to where you think you want to get to, you realize that's not what it was about. So this is why you need to be in the moment, in the now, and be grateful for the now, and then just focus on what's going on right now and enjoy right now. There's no really where you want to be, because you be saying, "Oh, when I get $1 million, and I be able to be living in this mansion, I be able to get this, I be able to." But by the time you get that, one of your best friends or somebody you care about, they're not around for you to enjoy it because something happened to them. But yet you waited all this time to get what you wanted to get just for something else that had nothing to do with it. You can't even, something happens, or you see what I'm saying? I remember I seen this guy in a fucking wheelchair, man. The old black nigga. I seen him. He was in the, like, right when I leave my building, I go outside. I seen him and he was in a wheelchair. And he was like, he was talking to the, I forgot who he was talking to somebody. He's like, don't wait to retire because I'm 60 some years old and I had a heart attack and now I'm in a wheelchair. I had all this money saved up and I was gonna go fishing, I was gonna do that, but now I'm in a wheelchair. I can't even do half the shit I want to do. So he's like, don't wait. He's like, don't wait. And when he said that, I'm like, people be sitting here trying to wait for, oh, when I get this, when I get that. You don't even know how life is gonna be. You can say I like, you can just say, oh, I'm gonna wait to get this. By the time you get this, then you can't even enjoy it because the person you want to enjoy it with, they're not around no more. Maybe you broke your leg or something happened where you don't have a leg no more, or not even that. Let's just say a mentality, the way you think. Maybe you're not even interested. You used to love to go fishing. Maybe by the time you're 60, you just don't like it no more. So you're never able to enjoy fishing and have that experience because by the time you got 60, you don't like it no more, like when you were 30. But if you were to enjoy the moment at 30, you would have been able to like it and enjoy it and go experience it. But you were just so waiting for this time. Oh, I'm waiting so I can get this and get that. But you don't know how life's gonna turn out. Because the way, like, you guys understand, like, you can't lie, you can't trick the universe. The universe has lessons it wants to teach you. So if you say, I'm not going to be happy until I get this, the universe will go and give you that years later. But then by the time you get it, it's going to put something else in your life to make you feel depressed like you did before you got that thing. And then you're going to be like, it's going to feel like you're trying to chase happiness and it keeps running away. You're like, I just got this thing, but yet now this problem happened. I just solved this problem. Now this problem happened. That's the universe trying to tell you, motherfucker. If you listen to what I'm supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be doing, I would have gave you everything you wanted. But you're trying to do it your own way and rush there in your own way. So I'm gonna create problem after problem, and now it's gonna feel like everything you gonna feel like what you're trying to obtain, that mental happiness, bliss, whatever you want to call it, awareness, consciousness, it keeps running away from you. It's gonna feel like that. You don't want it to feel like that. That's why you have will give you, because you guys gotta understand, like, happiness, bliss, peace, tranquility, whatever you want to call it. That's not something you get on. You're not really fully in control of your life. That's not something you get on your own. The universe or the spirit, God, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it has to grant you permission to get that. So this is why you see a lot of people, they'll go to drugs because you're like forcing your way to get there. Or they'll go and force their way to try to do something to get it quick. And then they'll get it quick, but then it'll end badly because it's like you're not doing it in the right procedure. You're trying to take a shortcut. You're thinking that, well, it's just happiness. I could get that on my own. All I got to do is get this. No, yeah, you have to be granted permission because your life isn't really fully yours. It is, but it isn't. Because you're in a reality you're affecting other people, you're affecting other things. So like that means you're not really going to be fully in control. You are, but you're really not. Because there's certain actions, if you were to do, can have impacts. So at that point, certain things can't really be fully in your control, even though it is. In a way it is, and in a way it isn't. So not everything is on your true, not everything is on your own volition. Certain things are going to be granted to you. This is why you'll see a lot of people say I'm being gang stalked. Every time I reach some type of happiness, something negative happens. One thing after another. That's you not being in alignment, and that means you're trying to get something yourself without having the spirit really involved in guiding you. And when you do that, then this is where you're never able to have fulfillment, and you'll only get a little bit, and then something else will happen, and you're like, why does I never get to just chill and everything just be smooth? It's only for a little. It's because that's what the fuck you're doing. You're not doing it in the right fucking procedure. So bullshit like that doesn't happen, because like I said, you're not really fully in control of your life. Even though it kind of feels like that, you're not really fully in control. It's really not your life in a way. Shout out to Paul Hinton. He was good with it. Yeah, and the internet is a femcell incel hub which draws like a cheat code. Yeah, he said spirituality is like having a cheat code. I wouldn't really say that. I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't really say it's a cheat code, because spirituality is really what everyone is doing. Like we're like you can't not be. It's like you saying like spirituality is something that you have one up on, or it's a cheat code. It's just like saying a human being with legs is having a cheat code or some shit. It's like, no, it's just we have legs. You could say someone who doesn't have legs, but doesn't really mean anything. Like it, like that. It's not like you have a cheat code because you have legs and somebody doesn't have legs. It's like you just have legs. You still have your own issues and problems with legs, just like they have theirs without legs. There's some people even without legs who would live a better life than some people with legs. If you really want to get that deep, but it's like what I'm trying to say is not really a cheat code, because spirituality is something that we all have and we're all supposed to be doing on a daily basis. Like you being in a body and having awareness, that's spiritual. So just that alone, and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, being in alignment, and you having discipline, being in alignment, that's spiritual. So if you want to call that a cheat code, yeah, but even then, you have to go through discomfort. You still got to go through pain. You still got to go through trials and tribulations. It's not like, oh, it's an easy, free ride. People still going through bullshit regardless. So when you say cheat code, what do you mean by that? Like, because with spirituality, you still got to put in the work. Yeah, like you still got to put in the work. You still got to do stuff. You still got to overcome and make sacrifice. And like it's not like a shortcut in any way. That's why I would say I wouldn't call it a cheat code. I would just say it's something we need to be doing. It's like if somebody's like, if you shoot your leg, it's gonna hurt. If you don't shoot your leg, it's not gonna hurt. So is not shooting my leg a cheat code for me to not feel pain? Or it's just I'm not shooting my leg and I don't want to feel pain? You see what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. Like spirituality is not really a cheat code. It's just you do spirituality to get in alignment with self. I don't really look at it as a cheat code. But I see what you mean though. Because a lot of people are lost. A lot of people are lost in life. So it could come off as it does look like a cheat code. It could come off as it does. Because you see a lot of damaged, lost people. So when you're on your path and you're in alignment, it gives off the impression like I'm on a cheat code because these people but you gotta understand those people are suffering because of their ignorance or lack of knowledge. Or now I wouldn't even at this point, 2026 is not even really lack of knowledge or ignorance. It's just people are just so caught up in not feeling uncomfortable. So by default, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So a crackhead knows crack is bad. It just They don't want to go through the pain of withdrawal. They don't want to go through the depression. They don't want to go through the sacrifice of giving it up to get their shit together. So they're going to use an excuse. Well, I have to be a dick. No, you don't have to. You just are scared to face yourself. So a lot of people are scared to face themselves and to face those dark energies that they have to go through. They're scared. So therefore, that's why they're suffering. Everyone knows what they have to do. It's not rocket science. A crackhead knows what they have to do. I've seen this crackhead. He's sitting here like acting like he's crazy. They're telling him to leave the property. He's all like acting like he can't understand. I was like, hey, I got some change for you. He snapped out of it. He came up to me and he's all like people aren't stupid. Even a retard. Like, you're equipped. Everyone's equipped to do what they're supposed to do in life. They're equipped to know what they're supposed to do. Even if you're a retard, whatever. There's going to be things in your life that are going to help you, guide you. Maybe not guide you in a way where, like, that's you're going to be able to see clear, but it's going to get you to a point where when you die in your next life, you'll be less of a retard. So a person who's a retard who can't wipe their ass, there's going to be things in their life that guide them to a point where when they die in this life, next life, they're less of a retard. So they can get back on track to be a normal person. And then everyone, you're never that lost unless you don't even exist in this reality. If you're human, you're not that lost. You know there's something that you can do. And if you're more fucked up, you're going to just have to live out the life and die and then come back in the next life. But there's nobody who's that down bad where they're stuck, or a lot of motherfuckers just choosing to not do what they're supposed to do because they don't want to be in it. So I don't even feel sorry for people at this point, especially nowadays. You can gain certain wisdom to benefit. Yeah, you're right. You can gain certain wisdom. But I know what you mean though when you said cheat code. You can gain certain wisdom. But like I said, everyone has the capability to gain that wisdom. Life in general gives you wisdom. Going through experience. You know not to date these type of bitches because every time you do, they keep causing you a headache. That's an experience and that's wisdom. You know not to go into this neighborhood because they're gonna fucking shoot you the fuck up because they got a lot of there's a lot of gang wars and shit. So you know that's wisdom. Like wisdom comes in all shapes. Like we know what we need to do. We know everything, and like that's how it is. Like life is really is not that it's not that hard. Like in terms people act like life is that hard. It isn't. What's hard is people don't want to sacrifice. People don't want to go through the discomfort. People don't want to face themselves. That's really it. But that's one thing I try not to do now is treat people like they're very stupid. Because once you do that, then you're like giving people a reason to feel sorry for themselves. Like I'm not gonna treat you like you're stupid. You're a grown ass man. You know everything you gotta do. You grown ass bitch. You're not. I'm not gonna. You say, oh, these bots, they're dumb. They don't know. No, we can't. We need to stop saying that shit, motherfuckers. You start saying that, and then motherfuckers having that energy. Like motherfuckers know what they need to do. They're just choosing to be ignorant. You want to choose to be ignorant? That's a bot. You ain't that stupid. And I don't say that like I give these motherfuckers respect, because some of these niggas is stupid, but you're not that stupid. You're not that stupid to where you don't know what the fuck you need to do, or you can't bounce back and get yourself in a spiritually, mentally, physically frequency space that's positive. You're not that. Ain't nobody that stupid. Everybody is smart enough to get their spirit and mentality on a certain frequency where it's like viable to be able to evolve spiritually. No one's that stupid. You can be stupid, but you ain't that stupid. So that's one thing I don't do. I don't treat motherfuckers like they that stupid, because at that point the world is doomed. At that point, ain't shit ever getting better if motherfuckers is that stupid. There's no way. People are just choosing to be ignorant. That's a difference. People don't want to face themselves. People are trying to find a shortcut to something that doesn't need to be a shortcut. That not even doesn't need to be, but that can't be a shortcut. That's why you see a lot of motherfuckers stuck in the same position mentally, like year over year, because they're trying to find a shortcut. They think ain't nothing gotta change for better. Jesus is not coming back. You're not gonna all of a sudden win the lottery. That your life's not gonna just get better for no reason. If anything, it's gotta get worse. And I'm not even saying this. Anybody who's watching this video, that if the shoe fits, they're wearing it, they can even agree with me that their life has gotten worse over these past 5 fucking years. Remember when the pandemic happened? Oh, I want to go outside. I want to go outside. Everybody was kicking and screaming and fucking fighting and just spazzing the fuck out because they couldn't go outside. They wanted to go to a baseball game. They couldn't fucking go. Everybody was kicking and screaming and pissed. We can't go outside. We can't go to a party. Now look at everybody. It's like the opposite. Nobody wants to go outside now. And then they have a reason. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's all fucking. I had a point, but I kind of missed my point there. But yeah, I had a point. I was gonna say something, but forgot it. But it's just crazy. Yeah, people say people get very jealous. Jealousy is somebody who doesn't want to take responsibility. Because when you get jealous of somebody, you're looking at you don't even know this person. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're about to go through. You don't even know their mind. They could be a retard. Oh, this person has money or he has a lot of cars, and I'm jealous. How you jealous of somebody? So I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I have awareness. I have the energy and the vibe. Like I could be down bad with nothing and still have the energy to want to. I'd rather have that than somebody who just has a bunch of money or material, but yet they're retarded. I bet you if they lost all that money, they'll probably start feeling suicidal. They'll probably feel like the world is done. I like my enthusiasm. I like my optimism. I like my awareness, my intelligence, my vibe, my virility, my awareness, my spirit. I love that. I value that. I can't be jealous of nobody out there. I could be homeless and I still have the motivation. Okay, I'm gonna get the fuck up out of this situation. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be happy right now and do what I got. I'd rather have that. I give a fuck about it with somebody else because I don't know that. That could be a weak ass spirit. That could be somebody who's about to go through a horrible situation because of the energy that they're in that they don't see yet. They probably been through shit, about to go through some more shit, but yet you looking at what they have right now. You don't know anything about that person. I can never be jealous of nobody. He can be an idiot. They could have a weak ass spirit. Their spirit could be. You could have went through so much shit in life. You could have went through so much shit as a spirit and had so much awareness that you went through that made you who you are. But you jealous over this little peon piece of shit spirit with a bunch of material shit that ain't even nothing. That if you had long enough, you'll get bored with and not even be fulfilled and want something else. Fuck that. Be jealous of any of that shit. Somebody who's jealous is somebody who doesn't know themselves. They don't know themselves. They don't know about life. They don't know about nothing. That's why that's a trauma. That's some type of trauma that needs to be fixed. That's some type of mental illness, jealousy. That's a mental illness. And I'm not saying human beings don't get jealous from time to time, because that's an emotion. But when you realize, usually jealousy comes from you not realizing who you are. So you have those you have those feelings when you don't really truly come to realization of who you are or what's going on in reality. You don't know what's going on in reality, and you don't know who you are as a spirit deep down. So therefore, you're like confused. So you'll take on the stupid ass emotions like jealousy, depression, anxiety, anger in some ways, because anger is always going to be there depending on situation, but you have certain types of anger. So it's like unnecessary anger, that's like the negative of Mars, whereas like you're not using it for constructive purposes, you're using it to hurt people physically because you're such in a dark space. You develop thoughts that make you think that it's rational to go and chop somebody's head off. And you need to have responsibility for your own spirit to not get yourself that dark to make it feel like it's okay to go and hurt somebody. Because if you're not careful and you're not doing the work on your own spirit, you can sink to that level. And this is how you see people out here going out killing and doing a lot of crazy shit because they let their spirit get to it, they let their mind get to a certain point where they they mentally think it's okay to hurt people, and they're stuck in that mind, in that world where they think it's okay. And whatever you think is okay, you think is real, there's reality. And you don't want to get lost in your own reality because that's going to cause a lot of problems. And then now things start happening to you and all this bullshit. You don't want to do that. That's why you gotta make sure you don't get to that level. And if you're watching my channel, you already know to not get yourself there. A lot of spirits, they're just so fucking, I don't want to say they're that dumb because I said people are dumb, but nobody is that dumb. So everybody knows there's always going to be something in your path to show you. Remember when you watch Tom and Jerry? They'll have the devil and then the angel. It's not really a devil and an angel. That's just you. Everybody knows they're supposed to do something right. Everybody knows they're supposed to do something right. Everybody knows what's wrong. That's what the devil, the angel meant. It's not an actual devil or angel or oh, it's my good side. It's no, everybody has common sense to know what's wrong, what's not wrong. But if you choose to not pick what's right, that's on you. That's what that meant. Even a psychopath knows what he's doing is wrong. Because you got to look at the concept of a disaster, the concept of a tragedy. A tragedy is something that is at its height that falls. Once something reaches its height and falls, that's what we will call a tragedy, a fall. So if a serial killer says, I'm an evil person, I'm the most evil person, I'm the devil, and he's killing people, he's not the devil. He's not the most evil person because him killing somebody, that's a fall. But in his reality, him getting arrested and you killing him, he sees that as a fall. If you're able to be aware of you falling yourself, you're in the same energy as everyone else. So when he kills somebody, he's like, "Oh, I'm killing him." But the serial killer doesn't want to be killed. He doesn't want to get caught and go to jail. But yet he wants to kill people. But yet he doesn't want to be killed. So he's in the same position as everyone. He can be affected by the fall. His fall is going to jail. His fall is him getting killed. But yet when he exercises making other people fall, he calls himself the devil. But if you're really truly the devil or that energy, you wouldn't be able to fall. You'll just have other people be able to fall. You get what I'm saying? So he's really not. He just a person who's traumatized. They scared. They're not really who they think they are. They're just somebody who's hurt, who's trying to exercise. Because for you to even think and say that you're the devil means that you feel people are scared of you. That means you have a feeling of fear yourself. If you were truly fear, you would even know what it felt like. You would just know that I like doing it, and you wouldn't even know what fear meant. Like I've never felt fear before, but you're doing things that cause people fear. But if you have to say I make people scared of me, I make people in fear of me, or I'm this big head honcho and I kill people, and that means you're showing that you have fear and you felt fear and you like to make other people feel how you once felt, which shows you're not really you're not really who you ain't that bad. Because if you were truly a badass, you would never have felt fear before. You would never been able to fall, which nobody is like that. So you can't really even put it. So that's why I say most people are full of shit. You see what I mean? It's just yeah. But I'm probably gonna end this live stream, guys. This was a good live. If anybody got any more questions, I think let me see if I got all the questions. I have women develop tumors if they. That's anybody who, if you're not, it's not just women develop tumors if they act too much like a man. It's if you're in a human body. This is why I say health is like, this is one reason they promote a lot of the health agenda. Like when you watch like stuff like Dr. Sebi, Bill, not Billy Carson, not that faggot, the other dude. He's not a faggot. Bobby Price. He's not. Shout out to him. I'm not saying he's a faggot. He's cool because he talks about health. But like this, the way he talks about health, and they have the other dude, KT Arch. I'm not saying that they're wrong when they talk about herbs and healing. And I respect those people because they talk about health and they try to get people eating healthy, and they've helped people get rid of diseases, and anybody helping people get rid of cancer disease, I respect, and I will never throw any shade on their name. So like people like KT Archer and the Bobby Price guy, I'm not saying they're wrong at all when it comes to health because they're not, but that's just one aspect of health. Um, you can eat healthy, you can fast, you can um, do all the fucking cleanses and herbal tinctures and vitamins and whatever you think is healthy. Eat a fruitarian diet. You can do all that, but if your mind is not in the right frequency with self, then you will develop problems with your organs, or you will develop situations where your organs will be hurt. So you may create a situation where a stray bullet may hit you in the head. You may create a situation where you get in an accident, you slip and fall and get injured, or maybe you start having heart issues for no reason, even though you're eating healthy because your mind is not in the right frequency, in alignment with self. So when you're not in alignment, you can still create health issues. So this is why it's spiritual health number one, then it's physical health. No, spiritual health, mental health, then physical health. Because your spiritual health is you're in the right situation, you're in on frequency, on the right track, the right area. And then mentally you're going to start thinking and doing mental things that's going to be healthy, and then it's going to play out physically, like you eat healthy, you do healthy things like fasting. Once you just start attacking one without the other, then that's a problem. This is why people who just want to just be spiritual, and then they'll say, well, I'm spiritual, or I don't have to eat fruit and vegetables, I could just think I could drink soda and think it's water, and I that's stupid. You're in a human body. That doesn't make sense. You're not getting everything right. People, oh, I'm just gonna think spiritual, and I'm gonna just think I'm healthy. You're not getting everything right. Or I'm just gonna eat healthy, I'm gonna fast, and I'm just not gonna be in alignment with self. And you're gonna create situations where you have problems with your organs still, or you can create a situation where one of your organs get attacked and affected. So you have to be in a spiritual alignment. Not to say bad things are never going to happen to you. It just, if a bad thing happens to you when you're in alignment, then you're on the path, you're on the frequency. So it's like you know what you're supposed to be doing, and things happen, so you'll be able to bounce back from whatever negative thing happens to you. You see what I'm saying? So that's really, you got to look at it. Health is it's spiritual health number one, then mental health, then physical health. Spiritual health, you're on the right frequency, you're in alignment with self. Then that's going to make you start thinking and doing things that are healthy. You're going to want to eat healthier, cut certain shit out. You're going to start having thoughts to want to do these. Then it's going to play out physically. You don't do those things no more. You start eating healthy, you start fasting more. start cleansing, start, you see what I'm saying? So it plays out. You can't have just one. It's spiritual health number one. And then it's everything translates to everything. They'll just tell you, oh, drink this tea, drink this. Like, for example, somebody, let's just say, I told you guys to take this tincture. This is parasite cleanse tincture. It gets rid of the parasites in your gut. You got to look at it from all perspectives. Why do you have parasites in your gut? That's a spiritual and mental thing. There's something in your spirit and mind that you're doing to make you do actions that make it. So even though you use this and it cleanses your gut, if you don't change your spirit and mind, the parasites will come back because you're not changing it. So this is why herbs are like, if you have to get the lesson. If you just say, oh, I'm sick, I'm gonna take a herb, you're gonna get better. But if you don't change your spirit and your mind, you're gonna end up having to take the herb again, because there's a reason why you got sick. It wasn't because you ate unhealthy. It was because you were in the wrong spiritual frequency. You started having thoughts to do negative things like eat unhealthy, and then it played out you getting sick. Why did you have a thought to want to eat unhealthy? Were you stressing? Were you depressed? Were you coping? So therefore, you start physically doing it. You get sick, and you say, I'm gonna take a herb to get better. You get better, but if you don't change the spirit and the mind, you're gonna end up getting sick again and have to keep taking a herb again. So the herb just focuses on the body. You need to change. Why did you get there? Why did you have these things happen to you? Change that, and then therefore it's the health issue won't ever come back again. Because if it comes back, you keep taking an herb, you're not dealing with the root reason, the root cause. So you got to look at it from that angle. Not to say herbs are bad, but when you take them, you have to always remember that's just the physical. What made you wanna? What gave you the thoughts to want to do the actions you did to make you get sick? So you got to keep that in mind. Making sure you got these questions. That's why when you see a lot of they be advertising health and talking about herbs and Dr. Sebi herbs, and don't get me wrong, that's good and all, but they don't speak about it like it's deeper than that. Like you can be taken. This is why you'll see a lot of people that are like 40 years old and they'll die from a heart attack. But then you'll see somebody who's like 90 and they eat the same shit and they don't die from a heart attack, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying somebody who's 90, they're perfect, they're in alignment, because that doesn't have to do with that. Sometimes the spirit gives, like, if you know better, you do better. So a lot of people who are 90 who eat a lot of bullshit, and these are spirits that are probably, they're not really that equipped mentally, so they don't really know better. So the spirit gives them grace. I'm gonna let this person live because they don't really know better. But somebody who's like 40, they get a heart attack, they probably had life lessons in their past life where they should know better and they didn't know better. So it's like they got a heart attack at age 50. And then versus this person, they're 90 and they didn't. But then the person who's 90 didn't. If they come back again and they don't get the lessons, they're probably going to have something. And it probably doesn't even have to be with health. You see shit happens to people every day. People get in accidents, people get fights, people fall out, people like, just shit happens, accidents, thousands of things. You see what I'm saying? Crazy shit. Like, this is a lot of these are lessons. Even down to like children. Kid probably grew up, be 8 years old, get abused and killed. There's a lesson in that. Something I'm not gonna speak into that because I don't really know too much into it. That's something that has to do with some type of lesson that needs to be done, experience, or But yeah, guys, I think I got all the questions. If anybody, I'll drop the link next time because it's kind of late. Next time I come on live, I'll drop the link. But I don't know. I'll probably come live again soon. Probably come live again soon. This was kind of fun. It was chill. I just really don't see any need. I just want to come and just drop some game to you guys, just to say some stuff to you guys, because there's no need. Like I'm trying to. I want to try to push my lives more to stuff that you guys can use every day. Like instead of just coming on here complaining about dumb shit. Not really. Like I'm done talking about politics, government, the system. Like none of that shit is important to me. Like none of it. Like, and I'm not saying things can't affect, because people say, oh, but what did it affect you? Because we need to know about, like, shut the fuck up. You watch that shit more than me, and I don't see nothing in your life that you're using that your awareness of politics is making you be in a better position. Like all I see is you depressed, you complaining, you whining, you bitching. You're not, nothing as good as come. Everybody I see that focuses on politics, they're not doing anything more than somebody who does it. Like there's, if anything, they're more in a miserable state. So this is why I look at the proof. I look at reality. I don't look at what sounds good. Oh, we need to be aware of this, because no, every time I see somebody who's a content creator and they talk about waking people up, the government, and I look at their life is miserable. Their life ain't anything special. They're not somebody who's doing something that's special compared to somebody who's not talking about their shit. No, it's not like that. If anything, it's the opposite. These people are miserable. They're complaining. They go out to a fucking amusement park. They're complaining about, oh, a Mason owns Six Flags. A Mason owns Disneyland. Whereas the other nigga, he's having a good time at fucking Disneyland on the roller coaster. By the day that end, by the time the day ended, he talking about all the bitches he got numbers from. Oh, I went on this ride. I ate a churro. This nigga talk about how fucking Walt Disney's a Mason. It's like, if he's a fucking Mason, why the fuck you pay all this money at Disneyland? So he's like, all these people, they woke and they talk all this fucking spiritual and Mason and this and that. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. At the end of the day, none of that shit is getting me anywhere. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't hate the government. I don't respect them. And it's funny because they'll sit there and talk shit about the government, but then somebody will go out and protest, or fuck protesting, but they'll go out and like go throw bricks at the White House. Oh, you're stupid for doing that. But bitch, you're the one who's provoking that. You're talking about Masons and how they poison people and how they do this, but then when people go out and do some crazy shit, you sit there and tell them that they're stupid. But it's like, aren't you provoking that? You're talking all this negativity about Masons, which they are negative, but you don't. And then when somebody gets angry because of what you said, and then they start a riot, you call them stupid. Not to say they're not stupid, but like, you're the last person who should be calling them stupid, because you provoked it, because you're talking all this shit about the government. People watch your video, get angry, retaliate against the government, yet you say they're stupid for doing that. Whereas, like, bitch, you should be the last person calling them stupid. I'm more in a position to call them stupid because, first of all, I don't even talk about that shit anymore. I don't give a fuck about the government. So if I call them stupid, like, it makes more sense because I don't talk about that shit. You do. But it's like, it's weird, dude. That's why I don't even, it's fucking weird. Like, this whole shit, you can just tell, like, this whole YouTube platform shit, you can tell this shit is dying. Like, it's dying. It's not dying because of anything of you. Because people will say, oh, it's because YouTube. No, YouTube is still YouTube. Social media is still social media. The reason this shit is dying is because we're in a different shift. So people are forced to realize certain things, even if you don't want to realize it, you're forced to realize certain truths. So therefore, it's like there's this one doomer channel, right? This nigga will talk about how the government, not the government, he'll talk about how men can't get women, men are this, men is this, man is if you're an excess man. You can't get any women. This nigga was getting 10,000 views per video. Tell me why this nigga fucking deleted his he didn't delete his channel. He deleted all his videos. And literally the video he made, like 2 videos he made, the video he made before he deleted his channel, he was talking about how he was having health issues, how he had to go to the hospital, and how he had to go work a regular job. And he was, you see how life was starting to hit these motherfuckers because we're in a shift. So all of these people who don't want to get with the program, the universe is gonna start fucking, because one thing, this is why you want to be in alignment, because when you're on some bullshit, this is where I talk about your organs. It starts fucking up if you're not in alignment. Spiritual health, mental health, physical health. The guy had fucking, he said his kidneys was hurting and he started having pains in his chest. And all of this is, you know, when you go to the doctor and you say, I have a heart pain, and then they run a test and they said there's nothing there. Or you say, oh, my kidneys hurt, and they run a kidneys, nothing, there's nothing there. Your kidneys are healthy. The reason the doctor can't see the pain is because it has nothing to do with that. It's a spiritual thing. Health is spiritual. Health is 60-70% spiritual, 30% physical. So 60 to 70% of the pains you have, the doctor won't be able to see on a test, because especially if you're Gen Z or you're millennial, if you're like a boomer, their health is different than Gen Z and millennial, because millennial and Gen Z's health is more predicated on what you're doing spiritually and what you're doing mentally and how you're thinking, and if you're in alignment. When you're a boomer or you're older, like your parents, they're like 60, their health is more predicated on physical. This is why they're able to eat more unhealthy and live longer, versus a lot of Gen Z and millennial. If they don't take care of their health, there's not going to be that many people living to be like fucking 90 or whatever already as it is. Like a lot of Gen Z are going to probably, the new 90 is going to probably be like 40 or 50 for most Gen Z. Like, and it's not it doesn't have to be like that. It's because Gen Z and millennials don't have grace when it comes to health. So you have to be in alignment. This is what they're not telling you. Like, this is some real spiritual shit that I realize, like, they're not going to tell you this because a lot of people, they just don't know, but you can see it play out. Like, you see a lot of motherfuckers going through certain shit at certain ages, and it has nothing to do with what they're eating per se. It's mainly you not being in alignment. Remember, spiritual health, mental health, physical health. And if you're millennial and Gen Z, you don't have grace because you know better. Your spirit is more evolved than like a boomer, more so more so than not. So they have grace. They're able to go and make a little bit more mistakes, versus the younger gen. They're not allowed to really make mistakes. This is why a lot of these motherfuckers don't want to work and be a part of the system, because their spirit knows that this is bullshit, and the generation is supposed to be the one to change some shit. So therefore, the health is going to be different. The mindset, the spiritual mission, agenda, all that is not the same as the boomer generation. So that, as what the reason I'm saying this, because that Doomer page, I forgot his fucking name. You go on his page, he don't even have any videos up no more. This nigga made videos like every week. He was getting 10,000 views per video. And like a few videos before he took all his videos down, he was complaining he had a health issue. Because if you out here making fucking videos talking about how men are supposed to be incels, and women aren't ever gonna like men because we're losers and they only want Tyrone and Chad. Like, when you start making dumbass shit videos like that, then that's gonna create a lot of negative energy. And something went on in his life where he had to shut that shit down. And that nigga's a Pisces, and Mercury's in Pisces. So like, it's funny because it's weird because I be watching the astrology, and when I be watching some of these channels, like the Doomer channels, like I'll be looking at their astrology. They'll slip and they'll say they birth, like, oh, I'm a Gemini, I'm a Pisces, and then every day, like, it'll be a certain transit. Like, let's just say they're Gemini, it'll be like something in Sag, or maybe it'll be like something in fucking like Aquarius, or it'll be a certain like square or in conjunction, or it'll be like, for example, is Mercury retrograde in Pisces. and like the moon is square, spicy. So like this last couple days was fucking crazy. I see these motherfuckers, they'll delete their channels during these transits, and they'll delete their video, they'll start crashing out on their channel, and it lines up with the astrology. And these are the same motherfuckers. Oh, I don't believe in astrology, but yet the day Mercury squaring your Saturn, you fucking crash out and remove all your videos. And I see it because I know the astrology. So shut the fuck up. You live in the astrology and you say it's fake, but yet you crash out on the day that coincidentally coincides with your natal that I know, that I seen. Shut the fuck up. And I seen this plenty of time. And then like I even brought this up to a few people. No, that's not true. I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up. That shit be funny as hell. Dude, this nigga, he deleted all his fucking videos. He deleted all his videos. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Not even no warning or nothing. So I'm telling you, nigga, like the energy is it's making people realize certain shit. He said, "Sup, fam? What's good? What's good with it?" Yeah, yo. I have to go against the grain, or else I'm not gonna survive. Who said you gotta go against the grain? What's the grain? And who said you gotta go against the grain? And who said that you have to survive? And what the fuck is surviving? Like, you guys are caught up in all this English and shit, and you create these spells and you create these situations that you don't even have to create. Like, what the fuck is surviving? What is the grain that you're against? Who said you have to go against it or not go against? Like, what the fuck are these things? Like, you guys may think I'm just talking silly, but like, what are you like? Just think about what the fuck are you saying? Like, at the end of the day, you're having an experience. If you want to use your mind to use this bullshit language to create these spells, and you're gonna create a situation that like you can't get out of. Like, you're like, why is my life so hard? Like you don't know how powerful your mind is. You don't want to be saying this type of shit, dude. You don't want to be saying this type of shit. Like, careful what you say. Like when I read that, I don't read it like you read it. Like, I don't know what no grain is. Like, who created the grain? Like, who the fuck is that powerful enough to create some type of grain that I have to go against, or I have to not go against? Even if I'm not going against it, you still have power. Like, bitch, I'm not gonna not do something because you did something. That shit don't even exist in my mind. That's just how I see it. But to each their own. And if you're trying to fight, if you're trying to fight anything, it should be to a certain type of negative habits. That's what you should try to be fighting. Try to fight to reclaim the power of your mind, so you don't even have to use words like I'm trying to fight. Like, the only reason you should even be using any type of word is for your own benefit. You don't want to use this shit to like for anything negative. That's why I say have a goal, a purpose that's based in reality, and stop getting lost. Because when you say shit like that, it just shows me you're somebody who watches a lot of these like motivational speakers, conspiracy people, like people that are trying to like sound intelligent and try to feel like they're saying something. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what's like it makes me kind of just feel like that you're watching all of these people that they're not, because you got to understand, like, a lot of people, YouTube has made a situation where, well, not anymore, because they're lowering the money they're not really paying people as much as they used to, because a lot of this shit is bots and people are starting to find out. But they create a situation where people are addicted to getting clout. So a lot of this shit you see on the internet, you got to understand, most of it is people lost in their ego trying to get clout. A lot of people are addicted to clout. A lot of people want to be famous on here, and they're willing to say and do anything. So when you watch a lot of shit on YouTube, it's not genuine. It's not genuine. It's just a bunch of sweet nothings. They're saying a bunch of sweet nothings. Like, it sounds like they're saying, but it's not saying shit. And that's why it's like it's the same regurgitated shit in every fucking video. Motivation. You gotta do this. If you want to be successful, you gotta do this. But like, what the fuck is successful? Who says that I want to be successful or not be successful? What is successful? You gotta ask yourself this. Get rid of all of this programming and get to your true inner self and what you want to do, and focus on that and fuck everyone else. And then once you do that, you're going to be doing something, and down the line to other people, it's going to look like success. But remember, you don't know what success is. I don't know what the fuck success is. I'm not successful, and I don't know what that word is. I'm just being me. And if you look at me and you see success, that's your perception. And that's good if you want to say that. But I don't know what the fuck that means. I know what I am, my awareness, my consciousness, and I know experience from my awareness and consciousness and what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what I know, and that's what I'm doing. As far as everything else and all this, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I don't care what the fuck that shit is. Don't get lost in these words and shit. Try not to. And I'm not saying it's easy, but you didn't create this language. This language is not something that's part of your community. This shit was the reason you know English is because a lot of people got killed and slaughtered and murdered and raped and stolen from. That's why you're speaking English. It's not anything positive. So when you hear any word from the English language, you need to understand, like, fuck these words. The only thing English should be used for is to make some money, is to swindle, is to hustle, or is to get ahead and maneuver. Not for no motivation or I'm trying to sound smarter. But right now, we have to speak English, so I'm trying to get the message the best I can. So that's why I'm speaking English, because we all know English right now. But in reality, this is a bastard language. Any word in it is bastard. I don't fuck with any of it. I speak it so I can maneuver within this grid that we're in, and we got to do what we have to do, obviously. But that's as far as it goes for me. Anything else, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Don't tell me I'm successful. Don't tell me I'm enlightened. I'm at peace. I don't give a fuck about that shit. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Whatever I'm doing, you may see me as these things, but that's just what you're calling it. I'm calling it, I'm just being in alignment with myself. And then what you will see is whatever you see, and that's your perception of me. But I don't call myself any of that shit, because I don't want to get trapped in any of that. True that, I'm trying to reclaim my mind. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Nick. The way my mind works is against the way the world works. I'm very contrary. He's like, the way my mind works is against. Everyone says that. You know how many people now, and I'm not saying that you're like everyone else, because I don't know you personally, but you got to understand, there was a time where everyone wanted to fit in, especially like 10, 15, like 20 years ago. Everyone kind of wanted to fit in. So where I had like pop music. Everybody wanted to wear the same shoes. Everyone wanted to fit in, like probably like 15, 20 years ago. Nowadays, more and more people are willing to not want to fit in. But when you look at it, everyone nowadays thinks they're somebody special. Oh, the way my spirit works is not like how everyone else works. But then when you go in reality, isn't that what everyone's saying? I'm different. I'm not like everyone else. But and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because we're supposed to be different. We're supposed to not be like everyone else. So when you say that like you're somehow like a lone wolf and you're by yourself. It's like, no, that's how it's supposed to be. You're just not transmuting the energy. Like, if you're so unique, create something unique. to show the world that you're unique. You can't just say I'm unique, but I'm miserable and I'm different from everyone. Like, first of all, we're all supposed to be different. That's a fact. That's the number one thing. If you're complaining you're different and your spirit doesn't function, that means you're different and you have trauma and things you need to heal because you're not able to truly express your uniqueness the way you wanted to. You're only able to express your uniqueness in a way that doesn't serve you, and then you don't like the feedback you're getting. So you say, well, I'm different. And no, we're supposed to be different, but you're expressing your uniqueness in a way that's not the way you want it to be seen. So that's your problem. We're all supposed to be unique. Everyone and they fucking mama, especially nowadays, says that they're unique. That's not new. That's nothing new. So you have to really look at, like I said, look at what you're saying. Like, you gotta really look at what you're saying. Like, I don't watch motivational shit. Okay, that's good. Like, I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, but like, I don't watch it. Some because motivational shit doesn't really get you anywhere. It doesn't do nothing for most people because anyone who's really motivated isn't watching motivational shit. Anyone who's watching motivational shit is someone that's trying to get motivated. There's nobody who's actually motivated who would tell you motivational shit helped them. There's nobody. If anything is motivational, is you going through a horrible situation, and even then, that doesn't even help some people. Some people they OD on drugs and they're still doing drugs when they get out the hospital. So motivational is something that's within you that you have to develop on your own. Anytime you're trying to take from the external world something to lighten up your inner world, you're a leech, you're a parasite. You're trying to drain energy from an external source while not giving anything back, just to lighten up your inner world, which shows how weak you are. You need to light up your inner world on your own volition when nothing around you is there to help you enlighten it. I'm not saying things can't help you, but you have to find your own light. That's how, and then there's only you could figure that out. And that's true motivation. Because that motivation is unstoppable. When you drain from the external world, it's not as potent. So it doesn't work. It feels good for a minute, and then you wake up in the morning and the motivation's gone. You don't feel like doing it. But when you light it yourself, you could be locked up in a prison, you could be homeless. You still want to keep going because the light you generate yourself is more potent and strong, and it's hard. You can't even put that flame out because you made it yourself. The external, when you drain it, it's like a battery. It drains and it goes away. You got to charge it up again. External, it's like a battery. It drains. You got to charge it up again. If you don't keep charging it, the motivation gets lost. The inner, it's like renewable energy from the sun. It's like as long as that sun's there and your shit is working, it stays powered. That's why you want to generate it within, because it's like renewable energy from like the atmosphere. Like somebody created a device that can harness electromagnetic shit from the air. Like people who created those devices, they can just get water from the air, electricity from the air. They're not, obviously they're not gonna have that out because a lot of corporations will lose billions, but they have technology. So when you want to create your own energy, you have to work from that method. So therefore you just keep, as long as your body's working, just like if you create that device, as long as that device is functional and operational, it's going to be able to harness the water from the air and create gallons of water, or harness electricity, create electricity. Then it's gonna keep powering. So you don't want to drain externally from sources like videos, motivation shit, all of that shit. You don't want to do that because it's not gonna work. What if you don't believe what I'm saying? What is a drug? That's the whole concept of a drug. Somebody who can't generate their own peace, tranquility within, so they have to go externally and take a drug, and that harms their body in the process because nothing is free. So you're paying with your health. So they're trying to escape and they're paying with their health. Yeah, one day it's him or fun. your heart was on fire. Yeah, that's something that you need to listen to your body. If your heart is on fire, you need to change something in your life. Anytime your body is in pain, there's something in your life that you're not doing that you need to be doing. Don't look at the pain or, oh, I ate too many hamburgers, I need to exercise. I'm not saying that is important. That should come into your mind to take care of your health. But why are you in the mindset to not even want to live a healthy lifestyle? And then when you attack it from there, then you can change that. And then once you change that, you will want to start doing healthy things. And it's not like a drag or a force, it's something natural. Yeah, I don't think people are fundamentally different. I never call myself different. For example, thinking you need colored paper to get food. Yeah, and I get you. The way I look at it, like, life in general is not fucking. No one said life is fair. Nobody said life is supposed to be perfect. What we're supposed to do is learn the lesson, experience, and then eventually we won't need to be in a human body. We're trying to have certain experiences using our mind, so when we evolve spiritually, we will have a capability to create a body that's not human, so we don't have to deal with money, food, health, and all of that. But we have to go through these lessons at the time being. And I get it. Color paper to get food isn't right. But you got to look at it like, at the end of the day, if I built a whole city, if me, Paul Hinton, Nick, Mysterio, J Bass, let's just say we all built a city. And after we worked hard and used our mind and our blood and our sweat to build the city, and there's millions of people, would you want to just let these people live in the city, or would you want them to at least give you some type of thing, something to live in the city? And you may say, well, you should just let everyone live in the city, but what about all the work we did? And I'm not like, this is why I say being a human, I don't like it really, but at the end, because there's flaws to it, because I hate money, but at the same time, the amount of energy and effort it takes to create resource, I can understand why there is a certain thing called money. But then that makes me look at it from like, maybe the problem is, I don't want to even say it's a problem, but let's just say a problem. Maybe the problem is being a human being and feeling like you need something for something. And just being a human being, we can't get away from that. So as long as you're a human in a body, there's going to be some type of barter, money, because no one's going to be doing nothing for anyone for free. So once you get that out of your mind, you have to accept this is how it's going to be, one way or another. Even if money didn't exist and the government didn't exist, there's still going to be some type of barter. You're still going to have to do something if you want somebody else to do something. You're not going to go work at McDonald's and get your check for like 2,000 that month and then just give it to a homeless person because he's homeless and he doesn't have money. You're going to say, fuck you. I worked hard for this thing. So you have to look at it like that. And I'm not saying you have to like it, because I don't like it. But then if you don't like it, you have to look at, okay, maybe us being a human in a human body with this mentality, that's something we just can't get away from. And maybe we're not going to be human forever. And this is just a lesson that we have to go through until we develop our minds, so we can create another body where we maybe won't have to deal with this, and we can just be. You see what I'm saying? And this is just a stepping stone into evolutionary. I'm just saying this can be it. So you got to look at it, but it's like, it's kind of necessary. I don't want to say it's necessary, because even if money didn't take away money and colored money and fiat currency and dollar bills, take that away and kill all the governments, all the masons who created that, get rid of them. There's still going to be something that's going to replace that. Even if we were an indigenous community, you're going to have to bring something. If you want to have fun, if you want to consume a resource, you're going to have to bring something to the table if somebody else have something you want. No one's just going to give you nothing for free in any reality in terms of where we're at right now. You have to work for something. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's nothing to do with really the way the government and the Masons have it. They're abusing it, and they're going overboard with inflation, taxes, tariffs. But in general, there's always going to be some type of barter. And you can say it's corrupt, you can think it's not corrupt, but it is what it is. I'm not saying I like it, but that's just being in a human vessel. It goes beyond this is they're just making the world evil. And some of this shit is, this is just how it is to be a human being in a body at this moment. And throughout the evolutionary, like once we develop our minds, because the mind creates this whole body. So reality is a thought. Everything you see is a thought. We create what we can make. The reason a cat is a cat, because a cat has a certain level of thought. So it can only create a cat body. We have a higher level of thought, so we can create a human body. You see how it goes? A ladybug has a certain level of thought, so they can create a ladybug. Once they develop more thought power, then they can create probably a lion. And right now we're human. So after we create a lot of thought power, we can create something more than a human. So just like you look at a rabbit, you don't want to be a rabbit, because rabbits can't do as what a human can do. A human can do more. There's something even higher than a human. Well, we don't have to be in a human body, and we're looking at humans like they're like a rabbit. So that's the point of existence, is to create our mind, go through experiences to create more mental power, so we can have the power to create something that's greater than human. But we have to be able to create it. If you don't have the energy to create it, you can't create it. Just like a cat can't talk like a human because it doesn't have the mental power. Human beings, we can't go beyond this because we only have the power to be a human. But there's things that are beyond human that you can't even comprehend, because we have a human organ, we have a human brain. When a cat looks at me, when a cat hears me speak, it doesn't hear the same thing you hear, because it has a cat brain, it has cat ears, it has cat organs. So it's going to hear something else. So when I have a human organ, so when I hear a cat talking, I hear meow. But if I had cat organs, I might hear the cat say, come over here. But it's not going to say come over here in English, but it's going to have a vibration of come over here. So when another cat hears another cat, they don't hear meow. They hear something completely different than me, because we have different organs. So when right now we're in this human body, and we have to experience this shit for the time being. And then once we create something stronger, we won't have to live out this bullshit, have to deal with money, any of this. We create something that's even greater than having to deal with having a body. It can be something completely different that we create. So, but I get what it's something that's here, and you have to whatever system is going to always be some type of barter system. Like, a lot of people think that could be a reality where we can just sit on our ass and have fun and chill. I don't think any society is really like that, as much as you guys may want it to be like that. I don't think even if there is no such thing as government masonry, you're still gonna have to do something. And because how will society get built? How would an indigenous tribe even have what they have if everyone just sat on their ass and was lazy? That means there has to be people that are doing the work, and then the people who sit on their ass are just parasites, just leeching off them. And like, that's like, if you look at it, like, and it's like, it's weird. Like, I don't think that's gonna be viable. No community will want that. That's what the government is. If you look at the government, what all the Gen Z say they want to just sit on their ass, not do anything, and have all the money and wealth. That's what the government does. The only people that do that is the government. The government is the only people that are in a position to sit on their ass and leech the resources from the people. The government does everything that every Gen Z wants to do. Just sit down and um, have all the resources, have all the money, and not do nothing, and have everything come to them. That's the government. They programmed you to want to do that because they do that. All these a billionaire, there's no such thing as a billionaire. A billionaire is somebody who stole resources, who created a situation where millions of people or billions of people produce labor and create businesses that they make with a piece of paper, and then they build labor in those businesses, and then they pay them through taxes off that labor and business. And the business is a piece of paper. So a corporation and a business is a piece of paper that they write numbers and letters on, and then they get the labor, which is billions of people, and they have people work for that piece of paper, whether that be the corporation contract or the green square piece of paper. And then all the tax money that comes from that scam goes to the government. And this is how you have a politician like Trump that has billions of dollars. But what the fuck does he do? He doesn't do nothing for anyone. And you may say, well, he has a business. He has Trump Tower. Where did the money that come from for him to build Trump Towers? From tax money, from labor of people. He didn't build it. Mexicans built that Trump Tower. He didn't make that money himself. He got that money from taxpayers. Every time you have to pay the IRS, it goes to them. Trillions of dollars get paid to the government every fucking year. It doesn't cost $1 trillion. It doesn't cost trillions of dollars to fix roads, to build schools, and to put a bunch of shitty ass housing programs that don't even help nobody. That doesn't cost trillions of dollars. So all that shit, the taxes go to the road. First of all, if it wasn't for roads, there would be no tax money. Because in order to have tax money, you have to produce labor. In order to produce labor, you have to go to work. In order to get your ass to work, you need a road to drive from point A to point B. So your ass ain't going to work if there's no road. So if you say, oh, taxes go to the road, no, the road is what makes tax money. If there was no road, nobody would be going to work, because how are you going to drive to work? You need a road to go to work. So the road is an investment for them to make tax money. It ain't, oh, taxes is going to the road. Taxes is going to school. If kids don't go to school, then how the fuck are they going to know how to work in a corporation? So all that money that goes to the schools or roads, that's just an investment to make more tax money. What the fuck? So the government is really the only parasite on this planet. The government. Nobody else is a parasite. Shout out to Damien. Was good with it. You have an aura twin. Shout out to you. It's good. He's a oops cap. Yeah. Yeah, I know the body is limited to the level of mind, the physical body. I wouldn't even say becoming human is an accomplishment, really. Even what we become after a human, it ain't even that's an accomplishment. It's like, because even when you get there, eventually you're going to be looking at that, because it's always about evolution and growth. So whatever's after a human, like right now, you don't want to be a human. You're like, I'm trying to grow and be something better. Once you become that, you're going to want to grow and become. It's always about evolution and changing and having an experience. It's just like at one point when you were an animal, that was an experience you had, and you went through that, and you became human, and you had, and now you want to eventually move on. There's nothing you want to stay in forever. There's always something you always want to get out of and change and grow, because everything can become repetitive and hellistic, and you feel like you're stuck in. There's no situation your spirit can be in for eternity where you don't feel stuck in like shit. Everything you're going to want to get the fuck out of and grow even more. That's the thing. There's never nothing that's going to be. That's why, like, a lot of people say, what's the point of life? But then when you look at it, it's funny because I hear people say, what's the point of life? But then when you look at their life, they're always seeking happiness and pleasure. But then they'll, and then every time they say what's the point of life, it always be when they're not able to get happiness and pleasure. So like they think that life is about happiness and pleasure, but they haven't gotten it. So they question what's the point of it. But yet when they're in happiness and pleasure, you never hear them saying what's the point of life, because they think that, like, that means subconscious, they think life is about happiness and pleasure. But it really isn't, because your spirit doesn't want that permanently. Because not that it doesn't want it, it's just when you're in it, when you're in anything for so long, it doesn't become pleasurable and happiness. It's like if you haven't eaten for like 10 days, um, the food tastes good. But if you eat the same food every day for 10 days, the food doesn't taste good no more, because your spirit is stuck in that space of doing the same thing. So it's like, I need something different. So you could never be in any type of space, your spirit, where you're like at peace and bliss, happy. All it's always gonna play out. Like even if it looks the same, it's gonna play out where it's like you don't want to do that shit no more, and you're gonna have to grow and get the fuck up out of it. And it's gonna want to do anything it can to get out of it, even if it means going through some pain, and just to get out of it, to get somewhere better. So like, you got to understand. I don't ignore corruption just because I get to live with them. Yeah, some people are so lost though. They rather be a dog. They think they rather be a dog than a human. Like animals are somehow are exempt from going. An animal has to worry about getting eaten and killed every day. Imagine being eaten to death. They're always like, that's, animals have to worry about that shit. The animal can fucking. I remember there was this thing on Animal Planet. The zebra kicked the lion in the jaw, and the lion couldn't even open his jaw and eat. So the lion starved to death. Who the fuck wants to live that life? Like, you starve to death because your jaw's broken or some shit like that, or you get eaten to fucking alive and fucking by a lion or some shit, or like, you have to live in that, because you got to understand, like, anything that gets eaten, that anything that eats gets eaten. So if you eat, you're on the food chain for something else. So a lion is on the food chain. A bear, it doesn't even matter if you're a plant, you get eaten. Even a plant, like, they do photosynthesis, they're eating from energy. So this is why some animals are herbivores, they eat plants. Anything that eats gets eaten. You can't eat something in this world and not be on the food chain for some. Now this goes for lions, sharks. You see humans, they eat shark meat. Humans eat lion. Lions get killed through hunting and shit. Like, ain't nothing exempt, really. Yeah. It's just the cycle of existence, and I don't even like to say life. I just said existence because we're existing, really, and that's really all we're doing, and we're just being aware, and we're all having an experience. That's it. That's the only thing you can call this, is an experience. You really can't even say this makes sense. You can't say it makes sense or doesn't make sense. It's an experience, because you say, oh, we have a nose, we have a head, we have legs, we have arm, and you may say this is a beautiful creation. I'm not saying it's not beautiful, or like, but people will say it's intelligent or it's not intelligent. Like, I look at it as neither. It's an experience. Like, because when you really look at it, like, what is an arm? What is a leg? What's walking? What's talking? This is, you may say it's like, this is something that's a creation, and we're talking, but talking is what it is. Like, imagine if you were blind and you didn't have no awareness, and somebody told you walking, you would think, what the fuck is walking? And if you've seen somebody walking, you'll look at it as gibberish. But since we're so programmed and we created this experience to have certain lessons, it makes sense why we're doing it. But in reality, nothing really can truly make sense. I don't if you really look at it on a deep level. This is just something we created, and there's infinite things we can create. So it's like existence never really ends. It's always something new. So you may think this is so like, well, we're in a human body, but there's something else that's way cooler you can't even fathom, because we don't have the organs to fathom it. We only have a human organ, so we can only think so far. But our spirit can create an infinite amount. So we can like create something that is incomprehensible because it was something different. That's why our spirit is very powerful. And you're the spirit. But the spirit has to always be doing something. It can't not be doing, even if it's not doing something, that's still doing something. But the spirit has to be doing something, even if it looks like it's doing nothing. But yeah, the spirit is very powerful. I don't know, but he said samsara. I don't really get into that, all that stuff. He said the cycle of birth and death. Birth and death comes in many ways, like of birth and deaths. When a person who's a drug addict who becomes sober, he died. His mentality died. He no longer wants drugs no more. So birth and death, I don't even really look at that shit as a cycle like that. Like I don't even look. I look at it like it's an experience. I don't look at like, I know what you mean though, but like me, I don't look at birth and death as birth and death. I don't even think that's just a word we use to call something we don't understand. It's awareness, and our mind is just switching, and we're going in different awarenesses, and our mind goes. At the end of the day, the spirit doesn't die. The spirit isn't born. So what is birth and death? Birth and death is just something that we're trying to explain something we don't understand. Because the spirit doesn't die. The spirit's been here forever and it never dies. So what the hell is dying? And that don't make sense. Ain't nothing dying. You're just using that word to explain something you don't truly understand. At the end of the day, we have a mind, we have a spirit, we have a mind, and we have a body. The spirit never dies. So if that's who I am, and it never dies or was never born, there's no such thing as birth and death. When we say birth and death, we're explaining something we don't understand. So when the mind transitions consciousness awareness, that's what you say is birth and death. So there's small forms of it, there's big forms. I used to like eating garbage. I stopped eating garbage. That's an example. I used to like want to take pills. I don't take pills. That's my mind died on a small level. So I don't like doing those things no more. You used to like to watch Nick Jr. and Blue's Clues. As a grown ass man, you don't want to watch that shit. That part of your mind died. There's big parts where the physical body may die, but the mind still exists. So once the physical body dies, the mind is still the mind. But what's going to happen is your mind's going to be aware of something else. So you're going to be doing something, but it's just not going to be in this frequency. Like you could still have a body. That's why, like sometimes when people die, they don't even know they're dead. But yet their mind. So what's going on? Like, are they really dead? Because some people, when you die, like you don't know you're dead. Sometimes, like just like when you're dreaming, you don't know you're dreaming. There's astral dreams I had where I was in this room where I was in the same room I was sleeping in, and I thought I was alive. And then some weird shit would happen to make me realize, okay, I'm not alive. Like, because when you're in that mental world, it feels like the real world. it takes something weird to happen in that world, or you to be very aware for you to know it's not the real world. Like the average person will think the dream world is the real world, depending on what's going on in the dream world. You'll think it's the real world. So like death is and birth is like something I look at death and birth as the physical body. Okay, I guess the physical body can die, but I'm not the physical body, so but yeah, anything really can die to be honest. Thoughts can die. Fucking anything physical can die. Yeah, you're right though. It birth because the body is birth. That's why I say it's the body that's dying. But you're not really the body, so you ain't really dying. But I get what you mean though, the body dying. Makes sense. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna end this live stream. I think I've been going on long enough. I'm gonna be back though. I'm gonna hit you guys up back. I'm gonna hit you guys up later and be back soon. But this was a good little chat. I'm gonna drop the link next time, and you guys could come in and we can ask questions or whatever. But shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to everyone. Yeah, Nick, Dark, Dark Donuts, P the Nobody. Oh, for sure. He's like, I have to subscribe for sure. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Damien, Nick. Yep. But all right, then, guys, I'm gonna be out. I'll hit you guys up a little later. It was a good little chat, but I'm out. Peace.